I've been in the industry almost 30 years actually. I joined Ford straight out of college, University of London, mechanical engineering, and I think what really has been the biggest change over the years is just this phenomenal growth in terms of the computing power in vehicles. And going back to when I started, there were really no microprocessors at all in the vehicle. And then we came in with the powertrain controllers, controlling the engine from a fuel economy, from an emissions perspective, progressively then starting to control some of the safety systems on the vehicle, the airbags, the other restraints, moving then into the chassis systems with active safety, electronic stability control, roll stability control, and so on. And then more recently starting to really drive some fantastic change in terms of the infotainment in the vehicle, the ability to bring in a device. For example, at Ford we have the Sync technology that we launched about 4 years ago, technology that provides for a very open environment. The customer can bring their device into the vehicle, whether it's a smartphone, a music player, any other kind of a Bluetooth connected device, and really then access music. You can use it to make phone calls, to access any number of services in the vehicle. So just that change from essentially no computing power through all of the major system controls to the world that we're in now, where we really have a connected car in the broadest sense. Yeah, and what we really have seen is the trend towards the extension, and at Ford we use the term of the vehicle really becoming your second home or your second office on wheels, and having this seamless life. So as you leave your house, as you leave your office, you move into a vehicle. You've then got this seamless extension of that experience. And again, whether it's making a telephone call, whether it's accessing some information that you might need, stock quotes or navigation, but just really being absolutely seamless. And this always connected, always on is really the central theme here. Yeah, and I think the vehicle obviously is an opportunity to access not only the driver but also the passengers. And it's really a captive environment. It's time that people have to themselves, time to enjoy music, time to catch up on telephone calls, time to be productive in the sense of maybe getting themselves organised for the office. So there really is that opportunity, but at the same time to do it in a way that is safe, to do it in a way that doesn't distract from driving, and really just make a very, very nice experience for the customer. So the car of tomorrow is progressively becoming more connected, and connected first of all in the sense of the customer, whether it be a driver or a passenger, bringing their device into the vehicle and connecting with the vehicle. Once that connection has been made, you've then got the ability for that device to connect to any number of other services. But also increasingly now what we're seeing, and we're working in an area called vehicle-to-vehicle communication, so the ability for cars to communicate with other vehicles through Wi-Fi and using GPS to broadcast their position. So once we've then got a connected car infrastructure, we can not only provide for a safer driving environment in terms of helping the driver avoid potential collision situations, but we can provide for traffic management, congestion management. Cities like San Francisco, for example, where customers are spending so much of their time just stuck in traffic. It's absolutely non-productive. It wastes fuel, it wastes time, it ultimately wastes money. If we can help to get that traffic flowing and then provide for some convenience features, like for example smart parking. So as you leave your home, as you leave your office, you put in the destination. Through Sync Destinations you get navigation to your point, but you not only get navigation to the address, but you can actually then get directly to a parking space that's been reserved in your name. So it's this, again, complete seamless connected car, cars communicating, or vehicles in the broader sense, but vehicles communicating with other vehicles, vehicles communicating with the infrastructure, always being connected, safer, more convenient, more productive. So from a developer's perspective, the question is now, given that opportunity, the opportunity to bring a device into the vehicle, the opportunity for these vehicles to connect with the broader infrastructure, what type of apps can be developed? And the possibilities are endless. probably the biggest challenge is matching the pace of development in the consumer world with the pace of development in the automotive world. The clock speed is different. It takes longer to develop a vehicle than it does to develop a tablet or a smartphone or any other consumer device. So part of the solution is how do we provide an open architecture in the vehicle that allows us to introduce these consumer technologies not just through the vehicle development phase, but also over the life of the vehicle, because one of the major differences is our customers, our vehicle customers, are buying a vehicle to own for 3 years, 5 years or longer. When you buy your consumer device, your ownership period is probably measured in months. Not much more than a year to 18 months at the very most. So the question is, how do you provide for an environment that allows to use always the latest consumer device in a vehicle environment? And part of the solution there is to embed as little as possible in terms of hardware in the vehicle, but to allow for the consumer to bring that latest device in and connect with the vehicle infrastructure.